West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back. Oh my gosh, I don't even have my mic plugged in. What a start already. What a start. What a start already to the show, people. Don't even have the mic plugged in. Caught unawares. Welcome to the 20. Hold on, let me plug this mic in. Hold on.
Mash is moving like the West Indies test team, down bad into the year. No microphone out here.
Right, hold on. This should sound better now. Welcome to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast 2024 Awards. I'm Mashal St. Patrick Hewitt, one half of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, and with me as ever is Father Santoki. Santoki, how you doing?
Yeah, all good, Mash. 2024, it's been a year of highs and lows for West Indies cricket. A lot of events happening. And believe it or not, Mash, I think it's about 5 years now since we started the pod. So we're still going strong, CCP going strong, cemented our status as the number one place, for West Indies cricket news, opinion, analysis, by the fans, for the fans. And, as has become an annual tradition, Mash, we're here to do the end of awards show. And we thought, you know what, let's make it interactive. Let's put it out as a live stream, get the people talking, get the debate going. So we're here to go through all the categories, the highs, the lows of West Indies cricket, the downbad moments, the catfishes. So much has happened in 2024. I'm sure people will comment with moments that we've even forgot about, Mash. So looking forward to this one.
Most definitely. I've just gone on the socials to remind people that we are live. Obviously, we're aware that having done it at this time, 7 p.m., is not ideal. Some people in the Caribbean are probably working, even though it's New Year's Eve, they're probably working. So welcome to everybody who's watching this on the replay because you were not able to watch it live. And if you're just joining us now because you forgot it, I forgot that it started at 7:30, so I can understand if anybody else has forgotten. Make sure you like, share, subscribe to the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. And as Santoki says, this year's edition of the awards will be more... the fans will get involved with this one. You're going to be able to vote on the kind of winners. I'll put a poll into the YouTube chat. So if you are watching this on replay, unfortunately, you've missed this opportunity. But you will be able to, it's interactive. You'll be able to vote on the final winners. So let me just bring up yes, here we go. So we're doing this one actually properly, people. Can you believe it? Let me take this thing out of the corner as well. There we go. We're going to do this one.
You can tell Mash is a teacher by his day job. Man set up with a full PowerPoint presentation out here.
Full PowerPoint, even color coordinated, everything. Right. So, ladies and gents, like I say, we've got a full array of awards for the end of year. Do you know what, Santoki? Though, before we even start, I was thinking that there isn't even there's no West Indies end of year awards.
No,
do you know what I mean?
South Africa do it, Australia do it, kind of thing. West Indies don't really do Test Player of the Year, ODI Player of the Year kind of thing. That's a good point. Maybe they did it. I'm sure they did it in the past. Unless I'm mistaken, I don't know. But that's a good point, Mash. I actually forgot. West Indies don't actually do an official awards recognition ceremony for players. WIPA
do something, but if you're not a member of WIPA, you don't even you're not in it. So I can't even say I can't. So Caribbean Cricket Podcast Awards might actually be the only West Indian award ceremony in the whole of West Indies cricket. Listen, we need to actually make trophies and send these out to the players after they've won it.
Next year. Yeah, our target for next year is to try and get players to come on and accept it.
Right. Anywho, people, let's jump straight into it. And the first category, I've done proper research on this.
Yeah.
The first category, the men's test player, the men's test player of the year, people. So Santoki, what I've done for each category, I've literally done all the research and pulled who can even come into the considerations here. Yeah. So first up, Santoki. Jason Holder, he ain't done nothing for you, but when you run through the numbers of 2024, he had our best test match average this year, Santoki, an average of 35. The only player The only player in the whole
I
region.
swear you only played. How many tests did you play? 5.
He played the 3 in England, three in England, 2 against South Africa. He's the only player this year that has averaged over 30 in West Indies cricket. 250s. He got, I think he got an 80 odd, I think he got an 80 odd against England, and then something like a 59 or something against South Africa. So he's there. And now some people might say, how can you put somebody who's only averaged 35 in a Test Player of the Year? But he's the only player, so I have to put him there. He has to get there. Also in the nominations pool, Santoki, Kavem Hodge. We were there earlier this year to see his 120 against England, his maiden Test century. He also followed that up with a 55. I think that was in the second Test. Can't remember the order. It was 55 in Birmingham. I think it was 120 at Edgbaston. May have that wrong. He scored 71 in Brisbane at the start of the year, and he ended the year with 55 versus Bangladesh. So 103 50s in the 9 Test matches that he played. I know he only averaged 29, but I've put him on there because he got a maiden ton. And I'm trying to think, did anybody else even score a ton this year? I think it was only Kavem Hodge. No one else scored a ton.
Justin Graves.
Oh, Justin Graves, sorry. So Justin Graves got a ton right at the back end. So I've put Kavem Hodge there because even when you look at Kavem's numbers, outside of that 100s he got and 350s, he also got, and I know this sounds like nothing to write home about, but he got quite a lot of starts, like 25s, 26, 27, 28. Like Kavem, he's a gritty player. I'm sure he'd want better returns, but I just had to put him there and recognize his grit that he's shown this year.
Yeah, put it this way, Hodge is probably the only player in the top 6 who's sort of assured of his place for at least the foreseeable future. So, yeah, I think Hodge is only right that he's in their category Test Player of the Year. Third one, Mash, Jayden Seales. Now, you put 35 wickets at 20, top bowler in England, which we saw he built on his kind of stint at Sussex cricket. Then 9 wickets at Providence. You know, for a pacer to take wickets at Providence, 9 wickets is some achievement. We know what a slow pitch that is in Guyana. And then 10 against Bangladesh. So Jayden Seales, you know, consistently throughout the year has excelled with the ball and kind of stood out as a Test performer, not only in West Indies cricket, in World Test cricket. He's been someone who, you know, has shown the promise and potential that he can live up to. So Jayden Seales in there, Mash. For the pure consistency, probably, if you're looking at it across the year, the most consistent performer for West Indies.
Most definitely. And I think with Seales, we have to remember, I can't remember if you just said that because I was about to put the poll in the chat, but I can't remember if I don't know if you just said that this was his comeback year. Yeah. So it's not just how well Seales has done. It's the fact he's come back after a significant period of time out and just basically immediately reminded people why he's star boy. And obviously also the Sussex. I know that's not West Indies, but he's basically had a stellar year in terms of red ball cricket. But then, Santoki, the fourth nominee I've got is Shamar Joseph. And I don't think we can. I know Jayden Seales 35 wickets at 20, but everyone will talk about the whole point of this year and what really brought West Indies cricket to the limelight this year was what we did in the Gabba, and that was effectively down to Shamar Joseph. So although the numbers aren't as strong as Jayden Seales, 29 wickets at 27, he has the Gabba premium.
Yeah,
so I don't. The Gabba premium almost makes him on par with what Jayden Seales did.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, obviously Jayden Seales done really well consistently, but the Gabba premium is a big emphasis on premium. It's one of the all-time great Test performances in the history of Test cricket. And like you said, Mash, it was pretty much the only thing that put West Indies on a global stage for that period of time. You know, brought Uncle Carl Hooper, Uncle Brian Lara to tears, what he did. So it's kind of, if we're debating Seales and Shamar Joseph in terms of Test Player of the Year, it's kind of, do we go with the consistent performer or someone who gave us what is essentially a once-in-a-generation performance, which will be remembered no matter how damn bad we have been at Test cricket this year. People will always talk about that Gabba Test, Shamar Joseph. In 10, 15, 20 years, they'll always say, oh, remember when Shamar Joseph did what he did at their Gabba. So it's weighing up those two things, Mash, and what you put a higher premium on.
Let me put it like this for people. How many times have people gone back and watched highlights of that Gabba Test versus how many times have you watched Jayden Seales 35 wickets at 20 across the year? Do you see something like, so the Gabba Test, people will still be going back to watch that 5 years from now. So I think people just have to understand the context of what Shamar Joseph did. And I think Neek's just put it in his. we have to understand that this was also Shamar's breakthrough year. Like, it wasn't like, remember, this is his first year in Test cricket. It's not like it's not like he built on something. This was actually his first year in Test cricket.
Yeah, it's all his first series as well. So that's mad as well. Because remember, he got Steve Smith out with his first ever ball in Test cricket. And then the second test, he did what he did. So considering it was his first ever series away in Australia, it's unbelievable achievement on what we saw from Shamar Joseph. And last but not least, Mash Kemar Roach, 36 years old. Many had voted him off, but as you put there, people tried to write him off, aging like fine wine. Consistent performer, not on the same scale as Jaden Seals in terms of wickets, but consistent, Mash, and kind of led from the front. And he's someone who, we thought might not play that many tests, but heading into 2025, I can envision him, starting most of the tests, being in that 11 for at least for the Pakistan series and the Australia series further down the line. So credit to, his fitness, conditioning, his determination to continue. And similar to Jaden Seals, we've seen him a stellar year with Surrey as well, which he's had for the past 3
4 years.
Of
course, yeah.
He's kind of proven himself on the county circuit as well. So it's Kemar Roach in there. So Mash, how are we doing this? What are we doing? A poll vote?
Yeah, so I'm doing a poll, but to get the poll up, you have to, and you're the person who's doing it, Sanoki. I just need one person eliminated. And then I can, sorry?
So I have to eliminate one person?
Eliminate one, and that leaves the 4 that everyone's voting from.
You ain't done nothing for me, so Jason Holder out.
Oh, what the... Okay. Okay, so Jason Holder is eliminated from the list. And then I'll put up the poll. Right, so people, those of you who are live in the chat right now, a poll has gone up. So this is how we're doing it this year. This is how Caribbean Cricket Podcast has improved as a concept. We're letting you, as uncles, we've worked out how to do this live. You will vote. I can't even find my own poll right now, but you will vote as to who the Test Performer of the Year is. And I'm going to call it off in about a minute. So everybody who is live in the chat right now, you have the opportunity to vote and declare who is the men's Test Player of the Year. Big up everybody who's just jumped into the live. The numbers have gone up since we started. Share it in your WhatsApp, share it in your Facebooks, share it with your friends, share it on whatever platform, and say you lot need to get to the only West Indian award show that goes on in cricket in our region.
You know what's going to happen, Mash, though? In the next week, we'll see enough platforms on YouTube doing award shows, West Indies cricket.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, actually, if anybody wants to know how influential Caribbean Cricket Podcast is, let's see what platforms outside of us go on to do an award show as well. Do you know, Cricket West Indies might even be watching this going, boy, we need to do an award show. Yeah, I just O'Shea makes a point. If you're watching on TV, you can't actually vote. You could do it on your phone, though, I guess. Anyways, I'm going to call off the vote. And Santoki, the winner of the men's Test Player of the Year, with 77% of the vote, is Jaden Seals. Congratulations to Jaden Seals.
Well deserved from Starboy.
Well done to Starboy. Jaden cannot be with us today, but I will send him a message and say, well done to Jaden. In fact, let me write down a note of all the players I need to. I might send all the people who win. I'm going to send them a Caribbean Cricket Podcast beanie. Well done to Jaden Seals. You are the men's Test Player of the Year, the true Starboy. Well done to Seals.
Also, for those of you watching, quick plug, as you'll notice, Mash come coordinated. Hoodie and the beanie. If you want a beanie, shout us, caribcricket@gmail.com, DM us on X, DM us on Facebook, any social media platform, and we can get that sent your way. England, West Indies are touring England in May, so a lot of West Indian diaspora fans will be out about again. You want to be repping CCP at all the grounds, and needless to say, if you're based any country in the world, we can get out to you. So just hit us up if you like what you're seeing. Yeah,
big up Mars Errol. Mars Errol, he's ordered one already. It arrived at his house. Maybe, I think, what day does it say? It arrived at his house on yesterday, in fact. So big up Mars Errol,
what's Errol's DP? Is that Son?
Yeah, I don't know, All I know is Errol's got that old school name, The last time, the only people I know called Errol are like, those like Trilby hat Jamaicans who live in Birmingham. Them men are called Errol, Anyway,
the Barrington Levy flex out here.
Let's move on. Right, so the next category is the men's ODI. Men's ODI Player of the Year. So again, 5 nominees here. 5 nominees, Santoki. Casey Carty's up first. So Casey Carty, I feel like obviously it's not his debut year, but I feel like this was a bit of a breakthrough year for Casey Carty. He was our top run scorer this year in ODI cricket. Irrespective of however many matches he played, he was our top run scorer. 560 runs at an average of 62. And more importantly for me, his strike rate was 88, which is significant in the context that Casey's strike rate historically has been in like the low to mid 60s. This year, he actually found a way to accelerate. And obviously, the headline innings for him was at 128 not out versus England. So Casey Carty is number 1. But then this year, Santoki, it felt like it was Shafane Rutherford's breakthrough year as well. He batted 7 times this year, 7 innings. I know he did some stuff last year, obviously, but 7 times, scored 100 and 4 50s. At one point in the year, he was on, 5 consecutive 50s with the hangover from the previous year. An average of 106, a strike rate of 120. He's also just been named in the ICC ODI Team of the Year as well. But we also saw Evan Lewis come back. So there's been a lot of breakthroughs this year. Evan Lewis came back. It's almost like a comeback breakthrough for Evan Lewis. He came back, scored 100, I think it was in Sri Lanka, and then a 97, I think, against England. Strike rate of 115, an average of 57, and just reminded everybody that there's levels to this ODI thing when it comes to opening. And then with the ball, the only 2 that really stood out for me was Alzari Joseph, who's always been our kind of go-to seamer in white ball cricket. 15 wickets at 28. And then Matthew Ford had a bit of a breakthrough year. Didn't play as many matches.
A few people mentioning where's Hope, but Hope only averaged like 30?
No, he only averaged 34. Hope didn't have Hope by his own standards. Hope had a down bad year.
Yeah, Hope had a down bad year.
And Hope was just average.
As we said on previous years, on previous shows, it's partly because he's tried to expand his game to get into the T20 franchise circuit, T20 setup. So he's kind of diminished returns in ODI cricket. So I think last year he averaged 68, and the year before that it was 35. So we might see him bounce back next year. So it depends how it goes. But you hit the nail on the head there, Mash. It was a down bad year for Hope, which kind of went under the radar because ODI hasn't been really prominent as a format, hasn't really been prominent for West Indies this year.
So, like with before, Santoki, I think Carty, Rutherford, what's his name? Evan Lewis, they're all certainties for people to vote for. Who are we eliminating? Matthew Ford or Alzari Joseph?
For walking off the field in the England ODI series, he has to walk
out. Hold on.
Yeah.
By default, good point. By default, Alzari can't even be in the reckoning here. So, again, people, if you're in the chat, whether on your phone or at your laptop, you now have the chance to vote the men's ODI Player of the Year. The 4 nominees are Casey Carty, Shafane Rutherford, Evan Lewis, and Matthew Ford. Please cast your vote. We're over 100 people in the live watch along chat, whatever it might be right now. Big up everybody who's joined the live show, the live CCP show. Santoki, whilst we wait for the results to come in, can you go on X and just retweet it again for everyone to know they need to join us live on the show? Those of you who are live right now, like the video, share the video, subscribe. If you've been somebody who's been watching Caribbean Cricket Podcast all this year and you haven't subscribed once, this is our final show of the year. Please subscribe and like, of course. Yes, so you have 10 seconds remaining before I lock it off. And the winner of the men's ODI Player of the Year, an overwhelming victory with 82% of the vote, is Shafane Rutherford. Congratulations to Shafane Rutherford.
Guyana is back.
You are the men's ODI Player of the Year. 1 for Trinidad, 1 for Guyana. And And we move on. In fact, yeah, big up Peter. Peter says, like up the podcast, guys. Yeah, like it up, people. Press the like button, notification button, and what's the other one? Subscribe button. Do all of that. Okay, moving on.
We got to try to get Rutherford on the pod, you know.
Do you know what I mean? For real, actually. The women's ODI Player of the Year. I mean, this one looks like it's going to be relatively straightforward, but we have to go through the nominees. Only 3 nominees for this one. Zaida James. Remember, Zaida's only 20 years old. So as much as everyone's going to go, come on, guys, this is cut and dry. Zaida James, 10 wickets across the year at 18 apiece. Breakthrough year for her. Obviously, she starred at the Under-19 World Cup. This is her breakthrough year this year. And she was actually our top wicket taker this year in terms of women's ODI. Of course, there's Hayley Matthews, 469 runs this year at an average of 78, 300s. I think the ICC rankings just came out. She's gone up to like number 6 in the world, I think, in ODI cricket for women. And she also took 9 wickets at 29 apiece. I mean, what do we need to say about Queen Hayley? The numbers are clearly there. And then Shemaine Campbell. Some might say, why have you put Shemaine Campbell there? But I think she's elevated her game slightly. I'm not saying she's a world beater by any stretch of the imagination, but I think it would be fair to say, given Stefani Taylor's injury woes, Shemaine Campbell is now the 3rd best player in the team. In terms of with the bat, it's Hayley, it's Deandra, and then Shemaine Campbell. And you look at those 3 and go, can they do something? Obviously, I know Kiana Joseph has come to the fore recently, but I thought I should recognize Shemaine Campbell as well. This doesn't need any elimination. I'm not even sure if we really need to do the vote, but in principle, we've done it for everybody else, so we should do. I think it's fairly clear who's going to win this one. Not that we're influencing it, but it's important that we recognize everyone. So I'll just put this in the chat. Bear with me, Santoki. Should have done this whilst I was talking. So you have a chance to vote, please, people. You're going to get about 30 seconds for this one because I think it's so straightforward, or I think I know what people are going to do. The women's is live. The poll has gone live. Who is the women's ODI Player of the Year, people? Please cast your vote now, and I will call this one off in 20 seconds.
All right, let's see. As you said, Mash, I think we know where this is going, but as you said, it's only right we do the vote.
Flipping hell, there's loads of votes in a short space of time. CCP, we're out here now. Watch everybody copy our format, you know. Man. Watch everyone copy our format and do the exact same award show.
PowerPoint presentations flying about.
Right. In 10 seconds to go, we're going to call this one off. We've had nearly 70 votes cast on this one. And with a whopping 86% of the votes, the winner of the Women's ODI Player of the Year is, of course, Queen Hayley Matthews. I think that one was cut and dry.
Well deserved.
But well done to Queen Hayley as ever, leading the way as captain and to the fore.
Probably the most informed player in the women's game at the moment. Hayley Matthews, just what she does with the bat, the ball, home, away, against any side. So really iconic player, as you said, Queen Hayley Matthews, and it was never really a debate who was going to win here, Mash.
Moving on to the men's T20 Player of the Year. This is a category with loads of nominations. So the first problem you're going to have, Santoki, is you're going to have to remove 3 of these people. So as I go through it, you need to be thinking about which 3. And people in the chat, you can let me know which 3 that you would eliminate. But this is a strong field, this one. Let me go through it. Up top, Gudakesh Motie, top wicket taker this year, 26 wickets at 21 apiece, economy 7.5. And before people say, dash away this person or dash away that person, listen to the context of whatever Santoki and I say here, because it may not be as obvious who wins this. Akil Hussain, 23 wickets at 23, economy 6.9. And I think he just went to number 1 in the world in T20 cricket bowler. I think the ICC recently said he's number 1. Dre Russ. Now, remember, Dre Russ is an all-rounder. 20 wickets this year at 20, economy 8.9, 217 runs at 31, strike rate 195. Now, remember, Dre barely played any of those any of those down bad bilateral games, but when he turned up, he turned up. Matthew Ford, 8 wickets at 16, economy 8.5. Shea Hope, not really locked in the side, but when I went through all the batters, Santoki, he actually was the best performing batter this year. When you look at it statistically, 354 runs at 35, strike rate 164. Hope actually had the best strike rate this year outside of Andre Russell. Strike rate 164 and 350s in amongst all that. Shafane Rutherford, 290 runs at 29, strike rate of 140 with 250s. And then lastly, Roston Chase. I know lots of people will say, what's Chase doing there? But 15 wickets at 27 with his defensive bowling, economy 6.8. I think he probably had the best economy out of all of our bowlers this year. And then 336 runs at 28, strike rate of 122. Oh, this is difficult, Santoki. First things first, who are we removing from this? 3 names need to... some people have said in the chat, where's Pooran? Pooran didn't have a good year this year. I know everyone's going to go, we're not counting. Notice I've said in the heading, men's T20 internationals. I'm not talking about franchise cricket where Pooran was the top run scorer in the calendar year or whatever, because Pooran plays 1 million franchise tournaments. We're talking about West Indies T20 internationals. So that's why Pooran's not there. When you study Pooran's numbers for West Indies, he didn't have a good year.
Yeah,
he didn't have a standout year, I should say.
Yeah, the only kind of memorable innings off the top of my head from Pooran was, I think he hit 98 against Afghanistan in the World Cup. But we were already through there, so the context of that, there wasn't a sort of match-defining innings. So what am I eliminating? 3 players.
3 players have to go. So when we add in the votes for people, they can only vote from 4 names. So who are the 4 that we're leaving in there?
So I think Ford will go first, just because it wasn't enough of a... He didn't perform enough across the year for me. So Ford's out straight away. It's an interesting one. It has to be Rutherford, of that field. Ford, Rutherford. Obviously, Mash, if you disagree with any, feel free to shout out. And then the final one. See, Hope's a tricky one for me because obviously he hit the runs, but then if you're looking at the context of it, he hit big against USA. Everyone got excited. And then he went for a duck in basically what was a quarterfinal at the World Cup against South Africa. So also just looking at the context. All right, I'll go Ford, Rutherford, and Chase out. So we'll have Moti, Hussain, J. Russ, and Hope.
Okay. So we're saying, so the ones you're keeping in are Moti, Akil, Dre Russ, and who was the other one?
Hope.
Shea Hope.
Yeah.
Now, before I press send on that, see, I've just wanted to check because a couple men saying Chase has to stay. Peter Denroy says Chase must stay. Jay says Chase must stay. Sean says leaving Rutherford out is harsh. This is why I knew it would be a big discussion just in terms of who do we eliminate from the just to get the final 4.
I mean, Ford is the clear one who isn't in the same category.
Yeah, Ford I think can go.
Others all have a justifiable argument. So
Panda says Chase won us the game against Papua New Guinea. Rutherford won us the game against New Zealand in the World Cup. So, but the thing is, we're not talking about one-off individual performances. We're talking about consistency of performance across the calendar year in international cricket. So that's why I put the numbers up.
Unless you're averaging a premium for the World Cup, this is what it comes down to. Or are we saying all T20s were equal in 2024? That's what we're saying, basically.
So, for example, Eminem says, I was going to vote for Chase. So,
all right, down to pop, because this is by the fans for the fans, as we're getting a lot of comments about Chase.
Hold on. Adil says bun Chase.
Oh my all right, we're gonna have to. What are we saying? So for the Rutherford out, it's between Hope and Chase. Nash, I'll let you have the decision. What are you saying? Hope or Chase?
Hope out or Chase out? Arguably, hear me out on this. I think Hope's numbers are phenomenal, and I think Hope has gone under the radar in terms of how impactful he's been when he's actually played.
Yeah,
however, but he doesn't actually play all the time. Whereas Chase is actually in the team all the time.
164 strike rate is crazy numbers though. That's like elite T20 strike rate to have. But then Chase has the wickets on top of the runs as well. Is the thing.
I think I think it's harsh. I think Hope's got a goal just because he's not first choice.
Oi.
Although I put Hope in, I put the list together. I think Hope was our best batter this year, but he's not. And actually, do you know why Hope might need to go? Because he's opted out of series as well. So maybe we have to remove him because he's not even played in all of the games.
So we'll go with Moti, Hussain, Dre Ross, and Chase.
Okay, Hope out, Chase in. People can cuss that we've taken Shea Hope out of it. But okay, the poll is live, people. Who has been the men's T20 Player of the Year? Gudakesh Moti, Akil Hussain, Andre Russell, or Ruston Chase? The numbers are on your screen. The numbers are on your screen, so you can look at it and make the decision yourself. We'll give you a bit of time for this one. Give you a bit of time for this one because I don't think it's as straightforward as everyone thinks here. Let me see how many votes have been cast so far. No, run up the votes, people. Run up the votes. Run up the votes. Looks like it's going to fall down between two players here. Surprisingly, Dre Russ is in last place. It's as if people can't see the numbers on the screen that I've put there. But then I guess the argument I've made for Hope would be the same argument for Dre. He doesn't play. He hasn't played the whole year. So I guess you have to look at consistency alongside number of games played. Okay, I'm calling this off in 20 seconds, people. We've passed the initial threshold of votes, but obviously there's more people in the live. Pick up everyone who's joined the live at whatever point you joined today. Continue to join, share it in your WhatsApp, share it in your Facebook, share it in your Discords, in your Blue Skies, in your X's, etc. This is the only Caribbean cricket award show of any substance in the whole region. Share it up, people. If you've only just joined us now, you've missed Jaden Seals won the men's Test Player of the Year, Shafane Rutherford won the men's ODI Player of the Year, and Hayley Matthews won the women's ODI Player of the Year. I'm going to call the poll to a close, and the winner, Santoki, of the men's T20 Player of the Year, with 41% of the vote, it has been announced as Akil Hussain. He is the men's T20 Player of the Year. Well done to Akil Hussain. For those of you keeping island numbers, Trinidad now have 2, Guyana have 1, Barbados have 1, Jamaica have none.
All right, next one.
Let's move on. Right. The women's T20I Player of the Year. This one is right. So, Santoki, listen to this, because I think this isn't as straightforward as people are going to immediately assume. First up, I've put Deandra Dottin. Now, remember that Deandra Dottin came back this year. 197 runs at 39, strike rate 165. Remember, the women got to the semi-finals of the T20 World Cup this year, and I'm sure they'll look back at that semi-final against New Zealand and say, boy, we should have won that and made it to the final. Deandra also took 9 wickets at 16 with an economy of 7.5. Basically, Deandra was a GOAT at the World Cup and played a huge factor in why we even got to the semi-finals in the World Cup. Hayley Matthews, obviously, when you look at run differential here, Hayley played pretty much all of the year because Deandra only came back halfway through the year. Hayley Matthews, 538 runs at 36, 550s in that, strike rate of 122. Obviously, she's an all-rounder, 14 wickets at 27, economy 6.7. Afi Fletcher, 29 wickets this year at 13 apiece, economy 6.6. And then Karishma Ramarak, 15 wickets at 21, economy 6.5. Now, I don't know, Santoki. I think this one's not as straightforward. We don't need to eliminate anyone because there's 4 people there. But I don't know if this one is as straightforward as we would normally say when it comes to the women's game. Any thoughts on that before we allow people to vote?
I think obviously we'll still have a clear winner, but it's closer than it was in the ODI format. Obviously good to see Deandra Dottin back playing for West Indies in the T20s as well. Afi Fletcher's had a good year as well, 29 wickets. But Hayley Matthews, if you're looking at sort of the run she's put together, the wickets, the performances, home and away again, as you mentioned, the World Cup as well. So I think it's reflective of the women's game. There's obviously one player who's clear head and shoulders above everyone else, but in the T20 format is closer than in the ODI format.
Right, people, the poll has gone live. You can now cast your votes. Off you go. Let's see how this one pans out here. Going back on. Okay, this one. Okay, this one's exciting. This is the first exciting one. It's the first one where it's not clear who's going to win it. Okay, let me just wait to see how this one pans out.
I'm guessing it's going to be Dottin or Matthews.
That's what it looks like. Let me go back and see how it's unfolding right now. Yeah, it's going between Dottin and Matthews at this point in time. If you've got your phone, people, if you're watching on the TV screen, just get your phone out. You can vote via your phone. If you're watching on your computer, then that should be easy to vote. Sean says, how is this poll close? Are people just bored voting? Right. You have 10 more seconds, people, to vote. If you have not yet voted, please get your vote in before I call this poll to a close. That last vote we had for the men's T20 had at least 20 more votes than what we're getting for the women's one. You lot are sexist out here. Where's the energy that you had for the men's vote? Vote up the numbers, people. I'm waiting for my threshold to be reached in terms of a quorum of votes, waiting for one more vote at least before I call it off. And I shall call it off now. The winner, Santoki, of the women's T20I Player of the Year with 47% of the vote is, of course, Queen Hayley Matthews. She wins her second award of the evening. She won the Women's ODI Player. She's won the Women's T20 Player of the Year. Congratulations to Hayley. Now, people, I'm sure this is what you actually all tuned in for. So, again, if you've just joined us, big up everybody who's joined during the course of the show. If you've just joined us, other than the fact you should have liked the video, shared the video, and subscribed to the channel, notification button, all of that. The winners thus far: Men's Test Player of the Year, Jaden Seals. Men's ODI Player of the Year, Shafane Rutherford. Women's ODI Player of the Year, Hayley Matthews. Men's T20 Player of the Year, Akil Hussain. Women's T20 Player of the Year, Hayley Matthews. We now go to the last four categories of the evening. These were the categories that you, the public, followers, supporters of the Caribbean Cricket Podcast, were able to send in your nominations for. We did not compile this list. You all compiled the list, and I just narrowed it down based on all the different nominations I got on which ones were repeatedly mentioned. So our first category, from the public categories. So these are the real awards, because this is from this is the public, people. CCP Hall of Fame moment of 2024. Now, the thing with this one is people took different interpretations as to what this meant. And in fairness, I didn't even clarify what this meant. You either could suggest something that West Indies players had done, which was a Hall of Fame moment, or you could suggest something CCP had done, which was a Hall of Fame moment. And these were the things that repeatedly came up in nominations. The Gabba win, a lot of people said that was the Hall of Fame moment. We had nothing to do with it, but apparently it's the CCP Hall of Fame moment 2024. People said my meltdown after Bangladesh had squared up the Test series was one of their Hall of Fame moments. People also said, and I wasn't there for this. To this day, I was not there for this. But apparently some of you were, so I had to include it. Earlier this year, Santoki did a live show.
I am logging off,
a live show where apparently he was talking for an undetermined amount of time, no audio. No audio. And then without any warning, just ducked out.
Now listen,
and locked the show off.
This is what happened, yeah. So I'll give the context, yeah. So me and Mash were meant to be doing a live show. Obviously, I think Mash was either ill or something came up. So Mash was like, Santoki, you could do this live show, yeah? And I was like, all right, cool. It should be straightforward. Like, even though I'm my uncle out here, I should be able to set up a live stream. So I set it up, posted the link out, did everything like that. started the audio, started the show, and there's just enough comments saying, we can't hear you, Santoki, we can't hear you. So I'm checking my speakers now, and everything seems to be working. And I'm like, hold on. Either there's nothing I can do here because no one can hear me. I can't fix the issue. So I had to close down the stream. And then I was like, you know what? I'm going to have to make a new stream and post it out and do all that again to get and try and work out what happened with the audio. So in the end, my brain was frazzled. I just gave up and went bed. But it
And just to put it in context, I went into the Discord and I woke up the next morning and I had bare people saying to me what was going on with Santoki last night. And then the final nomination we had was CCP being on Test Match Special.
There's a bonus one, you know, because this is a bonus one as well, a Hall of Fame moment, because obviously leading into the England series, a lot of people were messaging me being like, oh, Santoki, you know, Holder might come for you, you know, you've been saying Holder ain't done nothing for you, done the logo and everything. So we get to Beckenham now, for those of you who don't know, the warm-up game. And obviously I met up with loads of people from the Caribbean Crew podcast community. Anyway, Mash disappeared now for a time. And I was thinking like, where's Mash gone, you know? What's happening with Mash? And someone told me, I forgot who it was, they were like, oh, Holder cussed up Mash and he ran off. And I was like, nah, this can't be. I said, nah, this can't be true. And so I'm messaging Mash. I'm not getting any replies from Mash. I was like, well, what happened to Mash? Anyway, I found Mash after about an hour. The man was hiding upstairs at the ground in Beckenham. I said, what happened? And he said, Jason Holder saw him and said, ran out of the players' pavilion, broke all protocol and said, you're too negative, Mash. You need to stop. Mash broke the 100-meter record, you know. Usain Bolt won and dashed out there. He didn't want the smoke. So Jason Holder, you know, he said he had enough of this, but he pulled up on Mash face to face. That's a bonus Hall of Fame moment, you know, for 2024.
Listen, it's the only reason nobody's nominated that is because there were only three people that were there to witness this moment. It was two uncles that I was talking to, who they may even be in this chat right now. It was two uncles that I was talking to, and Jimmy Adams. Jimmy Adams was the only other person who, and obviously all of the players, because that was the craziest thing about it. All the players who, obviously whoever was batting, all of the players were just there watching it. And I was like, what's going on? Because Jason was like, I want to come on your podcast, but I'm going to say what I need to say. And I was like, come on then. Come on the podcast then. But it was like, I hope this gets to Jason, because it was tense, but I hadn't even done anything. And the biggest joke of it all, Santoki, is prior to Jason doing that, we had done episodes where I had been defending him recently. So I was completely baffled. In my head, I was like, I swear I did some episodes defending you, saying that people shouldn't be questioning your place in the test match side. Man came for my neck, cuz. He came for my neck.
Jason was on smoke. Mash, you might win Catfish of the Year for that, you know. Jason Holder took you for a catfish. Man said, I'll smoke you in real life.
No, I think it's now. Let me defend my honor, because I think it's important. It's important that people understand that I said to Jason, if you want to come on the podcast, come on the podcast then. And it was like there was a bit of a tense atmosphere, right? And then the West Indies media guy, we don't need to say names, you and I know who we're talking about, Santoki. The West Indies media guy then came to me after it all happened and said, there is no way that Jason is coming on your podcast. Like that is it's just not going to happen. And then, but I don't know if I told you this part, Santoki. Yeah. I sent Jason a message a couple of days later, saying, listen, I don't know. I'm paraphrasing, but I said something along the lines of, I don't know what that was about, but if you want to come on the podcast, come on the podcast, innit? He aired me. Cuz. He aired me. And the thing is, remember, I then went to Trinidad after that to then watch them in South Africa. And I interviewed Jason after one of the days of the Queen's Park Oval Test. And in my head, when I was interviewing him, I was thinking, fam, if you want to come on the podcast, just come on the podcast, innit? Like, fam. Anyways, Jason must be coming. He must be coming back this summer. So we'll have part 2 when he comes back this summer.
Yeah, we'll do that anyway. But yeah, also the last one, Mash TMS. For those of you not in England, obviously Test match specials are iconic show in England on the radio with Jonathan Agnew. We went up there. We got pulled up there to talk about West Indies cricket. I think Alistair Cook was there, Fazir were there, just chilling. So that was a Hall of Fame for an actual achievement we done to be on TMS during the England West Indies series. At Lords, big man Lords as well. You know what, Mash, as well? Also, another bonus moment. Don't want to talk too long in this category, but the Lords pulling up to the Lords press box, CCP were in the Lords press box, formal, everyone in suit and tie. Me and Mash were just sitting there wearing sunglasses, no laptop, just sitting there, like not even doing any work. Just sitting
was that the day when I was in the Takeshi as well? Sunglasses. Sunglasses. All of these journalists are typing away on their laptop, and Santoki and I just sitting there, just laughing, doing no work.
Big Lord, Jimmy Anderson's final test. Mash comes in a dashiki, one black glove, sunglasses on. Anyway, Mash, let's do the vote, man. Let's do the vote.
Right, yeah. So,
I forgot that I put up Nix's comment. So for those of you that don't know, apparently we recorded TMS. Jonathan Agnew was talking to us, and then apparently as soon as we left, he said on air, "Didn't that guy Mashal remind you of Chris Gill?"
We might not be welcome back in these spaces next year, So we just have to see. Anyways, right. Listen, let me put the poll up. Right, so people, the 4 things that you're voting from are the ones on the screen. CCP Hall of Fame moment, the Gabba win, which is obviously related to the players. My meltdown after the Bangladesh Test match, after we lost. CCP going on TMS. That's more like a personal one for us in terms of, I guess you can call it achievement. And for those of you who are present for it, Santoki doing a live show with no audio, and then ducking out and leaving everybody, leaving everybody there.
The people were waiting for me to come back, just never.
Right. Right, people, will give you about 30 seconds to cast your vote on that one. If whilst people are doing that one, again, because I've noticed that the numbers have gone up even more of those who are currently watching this live. So again, if you've missed it so far, Jaden Seals won the men's Test Player of the Year. Shafane Rutherford won the men's ODI Player of the Year. Hayley Matthews, the women's ODI Player of the Year. Akil Hussain, the T20 Men's Player of the Year, and Hayley Matthews, the T20 Women's Player of the Year. Right, we'll call a close on that vote. Sorry, I didn't realize. Thank you to Daniel for the super chat. There's no words there, but I presume he's just laughing at what we're doing on the show tonight. Thank you, Daniel. Much appreciated. Any support, any little bit helps and counts, people, to what we do on the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Right, so we're going to close this poll, and the winner of the CCP Moment of the Year has gone to me for my meltdown after the Bangladesh series draw. For those of you who did not see it, it went something along the lines of, do your BC job. Just do your job. Do your job, and I'll shut this podcast down. Something along those lines. If you haven't seen it, you can go and watch it back. But those men sent me, after we lost to Bangladesh, those men sent me into the Matrix, of which I thought I wouldn't return. So, yeah, the meltdown wins this year. Rickon says, do your job should be on merch for CCP. Yeah, I'll think about that, actually. Do your job. Just do your job. Thank you, Frank, for the super chat. I don't know what a super sticker is, but I'm assuming it's something similar to a super chat. Thank you, Frank, for that. Much appreciated. And thank you for the support on the Caribbean Cricket Podcast. Right, last 3 awards for the evening. Where are we? Next one. The West Indies men's. Oh, hold on. Why did I put men's? Oh, is there a women's one? Oh, sugar. I've messed this up. I might leave this one. No, I'm going to leave this one out, Santoki.
All right.
No, I was supposed to put women's as well. I've got a feeling I've left it out.
Running through the format, each format. So
I mean, the women's is Hayley Matthews. So actually, we don't need to that because Hayley won both of the formats. But the reason I think I did men's star of the year, Santoki, is because somebody alluded to it earlier on in the chat. You can have a test player of the year, you can have an ODI player of the year, but star of the year could be because of their impact in general, right? So this is just overall now. We're talking all cricket, test, ODI, T20. Who's your overall men's star of the year?
Rather than run through the names, let's go to a vote and see what people take by star.
Yeah, but you have to eliminate one of these. I've just realized there's 5 people there, so one of them has to go.
Has to be Carty, I guess.
Yeah, it's harsh on him. It's harsh, but
only because obviously Test cricket, he's not put the numbers. He doesn't play T20 cricket. I think, whereas the others have all kind of played other formats, multi-formats, and done well.
Who's that leave? So I haven't got my screen open. Is it Rutherford, Seals, Shamar, and Akil?
Yeah, it's either Carty or Hussain, because Hussain doesn't play with you guys, does he? Well, he hasn't been in here.
Yeah, no, Hussain's only played T20s this year. Carty's a multi. Well,
but I think you can't drop because Hussain's #1 ranked in the world.
Yeah. Good point. Yeah. Carty's got to go. All right, cool. So, very quickly, people, this is just a quick one before we get to the final 2 categories, which is the ones that people are waiting for. So, the overall star of the year, the women's one is Hayley Matthews. I think that's why I probably left the award out because we know that Hayley's won that one. But the men's star of the year overall now, it's not about what they did in test, ODIs, T20s. We've done those specifics. So anyone who missed it, Jaden won the men's tests. Shafane Rutherford won the ODI one. Akil won the T20 one. That's why those 3 are there. But then obviously Shamar has the Gabba Premium. So who is the overall men's star of the year? The overall award. This one's close, Santoki.
Yeah, currently, it's close because it takes on what you mean by star as well, because it might not be. Could just be one performance, or could be something that grabbed the headlines, as well as consistent performances across the year. So,
it depends on what it means to you. Like star of the year can be about what a moment meant to you, or what consistency meant to you. Star is your definition of star here. I'm going to call it off. Got loads of votes on this one. I might wait till it gets to 100 votes on this one because it looks like we're getting close to that. 20 seconds, people, before I call this one off. Star of the year, the men's star. So TC says, do you mean star moment? I've deliberately left it vague, TC. Star is whatever you want star to mean. When you think West Indies cricket and you think 2024 and you think that was the guy this year, who's the first person that comes to your mind, or that was the person who made me feel the happiest, or that's the one good player we've got. It can mean anything can mean different things to different people. Right, let's call it off. Yeah. So the 92 votes, 10 seconds, 10, because it's so close, I'm counting it off in 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Done. The winner, Santoki, by 2%. Only 2% was in it. In fact, lies, 1% at the end. The winner of the men's star of the year with 35% of the vote. Second place had 34% of the vote. The winner is Shafane Rutherford. Shafane Rutherford wins star of the year in West Indies men's cricket. Wins by 1%.
Joseph or Seals,
Seals came third. Seals got 28%. Seals got 28%. Shamar Joseph 34%, and Shafane Rutherford 35%. Right, last 2 categories, the 2 that everyone's been waiting for. Last 2 categories. I did have West. I knew. I'm a fool. I knew I weren't sexist. I knew I wasn't. I was wondering. Surely I didn't leave out women's. Women's star of the year. I mean, we should technically let people vote, but it's Hayley Matthews, isn't it?
Yeah, it's Hayley Matthews. She won both the.
Hayley won ODI and T20, so there is no point in us putting it up as a vote, because if she's already won the 2 individual awards, then she is the winner of star of the year. So Queen Hayley does a 3-peat, winning, sweeping all of the awards in the women's categories. And then lastly, people, the last two awards, the Downbad Moment of 2024. There were so many nominations for this. So many nominations. It was hard for me to even narrow it down. In the end, Santoki, these were the 5 things that seemed to be the biggest down bad moments in West Indies cricket this year.
Yeah, so Super 50 final. So that was the most. Oh, well, that was in October, wasn't it, or November?
Yeah.
That was Barbados. Was it Jamaica? Jamaica, isn't it?
Jamaica, Barbados, final.
Barbados. That was a mad one because it'd been raining most of the day, and I assumed the match had been rained off. And then someone messaged me to say, Ganga said on commentary that the players were refusing to come out. So I went back on the replay now because Cricket West Indies hadn't said anything about what happened in the final. No, it's a draw. They've shared the title kind of thing. And Ganga literally was like, yeah, they're not coming out. We're going to end it here. And then that's it. The stream just cut off. And then obviously after that, it transpired that they wanted to play a shortened game. The two captains, John Campbell and Raymond Reefar of Jamaica and Barbados, respectively, didn't come out. John Campbell obviously took a ban for next year's Super 50. Raymond Reefar, there's all sort of legal repercussions going on with Barbados Cricket Association and Cricket West Indies. A complete mess. But Mash, we said it at the time, considering this tournament's been running since 1972, to have a year where there's no winner because of these circumstances is not just a down bad moment of 2024, a down bad moment in West Indies cricket history, I would say. So that's the Super 50 final, the no-show. What are your thoughts on that one?
Was as you said, that point you've made at the end is ultimately the point. It's historic. It's not just that there was no final. It's about what it means in the context of the heritage of West Indies cricket. And the fact that the situation still being challenged legally by the Barbados Cricket Association makes it even more down bad. So this is even going to run into 2025. So that on the surface, you'd think, oh, yeah, that's the winner. But we've had some more down bad moments.
Yeah, so the second one, most recent one, Bangladesh 3-0, first time in history, 3-0 whitewash of West Indies in St. Vincent. The fans came flocking out, to see West Indies hold a lick 3-0 loss in what is some would call our strongest format. So a down bad moment to lose to Bangladesh 3-0 because it's very rare in T20 series between any sides for a team to lose all 3 matches. Usually there's such fine margin in T20 cricket. Normally a team wins at least one. So for us to lose at home to Bangladesh, following on from the down bad 1-1 Test series draw, was a down bad on-field moment for West Indies cricket, Mash.
Yep. And then the third nomination was not only did we have no Super 50 final this year, but we actually had 2 games called off this year. The first one, I think the first, not 2 games called off, one was called off. So on both occasions with the regional Red Bull Championship, a day was lost because cows had been let onto the cricket field and they had trampled up the pitch, which made it into a state of disrepair, which meant, I can't remember which game it was. It might have been Trinidad Guyana, I can't remember. But either way, they lost the day of cricket because of it. And then later on, I think it was a game between CCC and I want to say Barbados. Sprinklers and hoses were left on the pitch overnight, which led to, and there's that iconic picture of the whole pitch being dug up because the whole pitch was flooded and no game could take place because of it. And it just, the whole thing just spoke to how shoddy organizational stuff can be in the region. So I thought that was mentioned by quite a lot of people as well. Do you want to talk through number 4, Santoki?
So I was walking off the pitch. That was against England in the ODI series recently. Wasn't happy with sort of how everything was going. It was early on. It was the 4th or 5th over of the game. Argued with Hope. Hope wasn't happy. Darren Sammy walked to the boundary to try and keep him composed. And in the end, Alzari just walked off the pitch in a rage. That was a down bad moment. That caught global attention. It's not something you really see in international cricket. Yeah, it went global. That's the thing. That was up there with the Gabba in terms of global publicity for West Indies cricket. So that one just kind of, we said at the time, for it to happen so early in the match and for a player to not only disrespect the captain and the head coach, it was almost unprecedented in modern cricket. So that was a down bad moment, and it hasn't reflected well on public opinion of Alzari Joseph, I'd say.
Yeah, and then finally, the last one, West Indies drawing the Test series with Bangladesh, was mentioned by quite a lot of people, so I included it. Now, some people want to say, but Bangladesh are good, are better than people historically believe them to be. So actually, drawing a Test series with Bangladesh isn't a bad thing. But at the time, given that a full strength West Indies side had never not beaten Bangladesh in home conditions, it felt down bad to draw a Test series.
Yeah.
And it kind of capped off the year, Santoki. We'd started the year with a historic draw in Australia and ended it with a down bad draw versus Bangladesh.
Yeah, and obviously a lot of comments now about the CPL lights fiasco when Chimbago were eliminated because of the lights going off and then the match restarting and all sorts of madness in Guyana. But CPL is not really it's not a Cricket West Indies tournament as such. It's a private franchise tournament, so we haven't included that one. But Mash, if you were to talk about down bad moments of 2024, Guyana's been leading the way, you know, with the whole walkout of the recent votes for the Webby report implementations. We've had the Guyana Super League being announced, you know, by the president as the leading Champions League for T20 cricket, and we saw it be a down bad tournament where Guyana didn't even make the final on top of the CEPL as well. So bonus. Oh, also thrown into the Guyana mix, Kevin Sinclair getting sent home from Super 50 for cussing.
Oh my God, yeah.
So,
but then what are we eliminating, Santoki? There can only be 4 for people to choose from.
The Super 50 final has to stay in there. West Indies, Bangladesh. So basically, Mash, it's between what do we place as a higher down bad moment? The 3-0 loss to Bangladesh in T20s, which were bilaterals and really didn't have much contact in the wider scheme of things, but it was still 3-0, or losing Test match heritage 1-1 to Bangladesh.
I think it's got to be the Test match, actually, because there's an argument you can make about the Test match where you can say, yeah, but Bangladesh beat Pakistan, so them drawing West Indies shouldn't be seen as a shock. Whereas them beating us, even if it's in irrelevant down bad T20s, them beating us is a low because they've never been good at T20s.
So, all right, we'll eliminate the Test one. So it's the first 4. No Super 50 final, losing 3-0 to Bangladesh in T20s, regional games being called off because of cows and sprinklers, or Alzari walking off the pitch. Let's open up the vote, Mash.
Right, the vote has gone live, people. Which of those 4 events do you think is the biggest down bad thing in West Indies cricket this year? Everyone's getting votes in this one. There's no clear winner at the beginning here.
If you remember any more down bad moments, like you said, we might have forgot some. Put them in the comments. It'd be good to reminder. I mean, bonus down bad moments, losing 3-0 in England. Historically, we always win at least one Test. So to come and get licked down 3-0 in England was a down bad moment.
And never looking like we could win any of them.
Mash flying out to Trinidad to watching the rain get a draw. Also another down bad moment.
Right, people, I'm calling this one off in 30 seconds. 30 seconds. If you are yet to cast your vote, please go and cast your vote. Whilst you're here, like, share, subscribe, notification button. There is one category left after this, which is the West Indies Catfish of the year. So don't go now. That's the one that everyone's waiting for. Just to remind people, in 2021, the Catfish winner was DJ Bravo's World Cup song. In 2022, the Catfish winner was Nicholas Pooran's captaincy. And in 2023, the Catfish winner was the whole of Jamaica cricket. So we're eagerly awaiting to see who will win Catfish of the year in 2024. Right, I'm calling this vote off in 10. If you're yet to cast it now. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Time. Santoki, the winner of the down bad. Oh my God, I can't even see it. Who won that? The winner of the down bad moment of the year is Alzari Joseph walking off the pitch. 35% of the votes cast have gone to Alzari Joseph. He is the winner of the down bad moment of 2024. I think that's a worthy winner, Santoki.
I think that's a worthy one because that was shock. Even though, Mash, we've seen it all with West Indies cricket, that was still shocking to see such, public outrage on the field and sort of, like I said, the disrespect it showed to his teammates and the head coach as well. So and it got headlines as well. So for me, it was always a close one between Alzawi walking off the pitch and no Super 50 final, because they're almost unprecedented in recent history. So Alzawi Joseph, unfortunately for him, but a deserved winner.
A fully deserved winner. Right. Okay. Final category, people. Santoki, I'm about to surprise you here because there are 8 contenders for this.
Man.
It's going to be hard enough, Santoki, to narrow this down to 4. I'm going to be so intrigued to see which ones you eliminate. Catfish, CCP Catfish of 2024, people. Are you ready? Here are the nominees. Darren Sammy saying we can win the World Cup. Craig Brathwaite showing his muscles in Australia after he'd drawn 1-1. Mikhail Louis dominating the regional championship, then going on to average 23 in the calendar year in Test cricket. The Gabba performance, followed by being shit for the rest of the year. Kurt McKenzie looking like he was a Test batter. Then going to England and not getting a score above 10 in the series. Shimron Hetmeyer on yet another comeback and then doing nothing. And then the final one, people tweeting and talking about West Indies' Fab 5 bowling attack after the first Test versus Bangladesh, only to see us get laid down in the second Test. Yes, Santoki, what are you got to say to that?
All right, cool. Let's run through this because I forgot about some of these. So the first one, Dan Sammy saying we can win the World Cup. You know what? I'll give him a pass because he's head coach and it was a home World Cup. You have to say that. You can't say we can't win the World Cup. Like, you have to say we can win the World Cup. He came within one game or one innings of getting to the semi-final. So I can give Sammy a pass on that one. Obviously, in hindsight, it looked down bad because we crashed out of the World Cup, but it wasn't compared to the previous 2 World Cups, we did better, and he's the head coach. He's paid to basically say that. So I think Darren Sammy we can remove from the category straight away. Craig Brathwaite showing muscles in Australia. Considering he averaged 20 this year, in hindsight, that was a down bad moment. But I could see the adrenaline was with him, and obviously he was vexed because everyone was cussing him out. But flexing your biceps, after that 1-1 draw, and then going on to produce one of your worst years in Test cricket is a new flex. So, man flexed the biceps and said,
man did the full bicep, and said, "Am I strong now?" Then averaged 21 cuts.
Man thought he was Ultimate Warrior out here, bro. Man was flexing, bro. And then, all right, you know what? Mikhail Louis dominated regional championship. It's a catfish, but is it really a catfish? Because he only played 1 season and he didn't call himself up. He got called up after 1 season. What were you expecting? So I don't think it can be a catfish, Mikhail Louis, because you can't play 1 season. It's not as if he played 5 seasons averaging 40 and fumbled at Test level.
Okay, so we can remove Louis. The Louis one is harsh. I just want to say as well, because obviously players will watch this. These are things that people send in. We didn't pick these nominations, so I'm just putting down what people sent in. So yeah, we'll remove Louis.
Yeah. Gabba performance is obviously a catfish. Won at the Gabba and then went on to produce an all-time down bad rest of 2024. So Gabba performance is in there. Kurt McKenzie in Australia. Top scored in Australia. We were thinking, well, the new Lawrence Rowe is out here, fam. Gonna hit triple century against England, and then he averaged 12 against England. So Kurt McKenzie would have to stay in there. Shimron Hetmeyer comeback. You know what? I forgot what even happened, Mash. What did he didn't play against Australia, isn't it, in a white ball? And then he came back at the World Cup. He rode the bench at the World Cup. And then he sort of disappeared for the talent. To be honest, is it really a catfish? Because Hetmeyer's been doing this for the last few years. Isn't there just Hetmeyer at this point?
So I can't remember who. Apologies if you're in this chat right now. But somebody said earlier today that given Shimron's always in the catfish category, doesn't he win because he always comes up in the catfish category? But I agree with your point though that at this stage, when we say a Shimron Hetmeyer comeback, what is anybody really expecting? So I don't know if it's a catfish in the traditional sense.
And The last one, man. I forgot where this even started, but the viral picture of, the West Indies Fab Five. People might be asking who are the Fab Five. So it was Shamar Joseph, Alzavi Joseph, Kemar Roach, Jason Seals,
and Justin Graves, cuz. Justin Graves. They put Justin Graves in the Fab Five, and then put pictures of the iconic. They put pictures of the iconic GOATs: Colin Croft, Malcolm Marshall, Andy Roberts. They put them next to it and went, West Indies are coming back. And I was like, what?
Yeah, the picture here, you got Holding, Garner, Croft, and Roberts. Then in the other picture, you got Ambrose and Walsh and them, man. So we bowled Bangladesh out, yeah? And we put these pictures of the Fab Five, and then we went on to lose the next test against Bangladesh. No, that's a cat.
They even did. The thing is, though, Bish and all that lot even did interviews after the first test with all of them there going, yeah, wow, you really hotted them up. And then we just went and lost the next test.
No, but that's a dumb move, because obviously we're not going to put out who tweeted and who done all this and that. It is what it is. The picture came out. But how are you posting it? How are you posting it after one test match? That's a mad move. To the legacy of us being undefeated, whatever, 1980 to 1994. Pace bowling attack. Listen, we beat England 5-0 in England. We went to Australia. We licked them down through all this period. One home test win against Bangladesh, and we're making. This don't even need a vote, man. This ain't even Catfish. This is an all-time down bad moment for us to even make that comparison. It's an insult to West Indies cricket, and so people are saying. People are saying name the name. I think it was Mash's brethren. I think it's one of Mash's good brethren, that tweeted that. So
but everyone was doing it though, because it went viral. Because it may have been started by someone, but then it went viral. Like you had all of those like big cricket platforms tweeting the Fab Five picture. The West Indies official social tweeted the Fab Five picture. We were the first people. We were the first to reply and go, "What the hell are you lot doing? What do you think this is?"
No, West Indies. Oh, ESPN. People are saying ESPN did it. If West Indies cricket did it, this wins it by a mile. But that's a down bad moment, because I can even maybe understand if you put the two Joseph, Seals, and Roach optimistically, but for Justin Greaves to just be in that. He's not even pace, fam.
What a disrespect. What a disrespect to the GOATs. The GOATs, the GOATs who went and whitewashed England are getting compared to Justin Graves. Now allow it, cuz. What are you doing out here? Anyways, let me put...
Look, Michael Holding was bowling his life out against England to get the 5-0, and we're comparing that to the medium pace wobblers of Justin Graves against Bangladesh, bro.
West Indies cricket has really fallen,
West Indies cricket, man. I will not stand for that. That is a all-time Hall of Fame down bad moment.
Right, let me put So let me put in the poll then. So the Catfish of the year. So who are we leaving in? Craig Brathwaite's Muscles. Craig Brathwaite's Muscles.
Gabba Performance. Kurt McKenzie in Australia, and
then the Fab Five. Right. Okay. So Craig Brathwaite's Muscles, the Gabba, followed by Nothing. Kurt McKenzie, Australia to England. Do you know what? I actually felt sorry by the time McKenzie was done in England. I actually felt sorry for him.
Yeah.
Like everyone in the ground knew he was a walking wicket. Like I actually felt sorry for the man.
Justin, great. But this is like me tweeting a picture of Tony Cozier and myself, and then saying, "Great to live up to the legacy of Cozier."
Do you know what? That's actually the parallel. That is actually the parallel. If we had taken a picture, you know, the pictures we took after the final test. Where was it? Was it Edgbaston? The final test.
Yeah,
If we had taken a picture after Edgbaston, you know that one we took with Yumi and Neeks.
Yeah,
Imagine
yeah,
if Yumi and Neeks had put that next to like Tony Cozier, Reds Pereira, and
Yeah.
Fazer Mohammed, and said, "Yeah, the real journalists are out here. It's a return to the real journalism of West Indies cricket." You know how many uncles would cuss if we did something like that? Anyways, right, let me put the right, so it's the poll is up, people. The final award of this evening. What was the Catfish moment of 2024? Final poll is up. Thing is,
The thing is, we didn't even win 2-0 that series. We went on to lose the next test with the Fab Five. The Fab Five legacy already done out here. I said the Fab Five, had that one test streak. We're comparing a streak of 14 years undefeated home and away to one test against Bangladesh, bro.
Man said they had a one-match streak. Oh, God.
Whoever, any accounts, ESPN, Cricket West Indies, they all need to be banned from social media. Whoever tweeted that picture out, that is desecration of West Indies cricket legacy. People say we mock, yeah. That is the biggest mock I've ever seen in my lifetime,
Now, West Indies cricket is down bad, We're actually down bad. We're down horrendous because
next year we're gonna. This is so down bad. This moment, it's not even. It's a Catfish down. It's so down bad. Next year we're gonna have to name the down bad award the Fab Five award. Like, that's how down bad it is. It's a historic generational level of down bad.
Right, I'm calling it off because it's fairly clear who's won this. So the winner with 73% of the vote, and our final 72% of the vote, our final award, Caribbean Cricket Podcast award of this evening, it goes to. Thing is, it's not their fault because they didn't ask for this to happen. So I just want to say it doesn't go to the players themselves. The award goes to everybody who retweeted or posted any picture suggesting that West Indies had a Fab Five bowling attack that was on par with the GOATs from 1980 to 1995. Anybody who posted that picture, you have won this award. It's not for the players. It's for anyone who suggested it, posted it, retweeted it, reposted it. You all win the award for Catfish of 2024. Congratulations to anyone who did that. Right. Listen, Santoki, it's, believe it or not, people, I'm going to take this off the screen now. Believe it or not, it is New Year's Eve 2024. Thank you to everybody. And this is not just New Year's Eve. Sorry, of course it's New Year's Eve. It's last show of the year, last day of 2024. So really and truly, the last thing for us to do before we lock this one off is to just say thank you to anybody who's watched an episode, I don't know, maybe done a super chat, super thanks, become a patron, bought some merch, told a friend, shared a podcast, audio or visual, come to say hi to us. We should shout out everybody who came to say hi to us during the England series, whether at the warm-up game or any of the test matches. Shout out the Trinidad crew who I met. Too many names to mention. Shout out the Trinidad crew who I met earlier this year. Shout out the Antigua crew, anyone who I met earlier this year as well. And just, thank you from us. I'll give Santoki the final words, but just thank you from us for following along with us for the whole of 2024. We'll keep going in 2025. West Indies are back in the UK in the summer of 2025. They go to Ireland for 6 games. I think it's 6 games in England as well. So we'll have some more live content. Jason Holder might rush me again. So there'll be loads of stuff that will be happening in 2025. Shout out the Discord crew. That's been a new thing this year. Last words to you, Santoki.
Yeah, happy New Year to everyone following. Some of you might be in countries where it's already gone past midnight. Others might be waiting for it. So happy New Year, whatever you're doing tonight. As Mash said, we continue to grow. 2025, a lot of cricket happening. West Indies come back to England. Shout out everyone we met in England from the Caribbean Cricket Podcast community. Off the top of my head, Neeks, Yannick, James Trezeguet, who else? Travis, Sister Rosie. So many that are even more if I probably forgot as well. It's good to meet the Caribbean Cricket Podcast community in real life. Obviously, Mash met people in Trinidad, Antigua, so hopefully we'll get to meet more of you across 2025. Mash, what are you saying? You flying out anywhere 2025?
I'm thinking of a crazy plan I'm thinking of a crazy plan to go and watch a down bad Red Bull West Indies Championship game. If I can find a flight that's cheap enough, I'm thinking of a crazy plan. But that's just a pipe dream. That will be the down bad of the most down bad if I go and do that.
Yeah, I actually went. I think it was 2018. I went to Kensington Oval and watched Barbados Trinidad day 3. And it was like Ramdin batting against Ashley Nerf. There was about 7 men in the crowd. It was a down bad experience as well. And I even dragged my wife to watch it as well to add to the down bad experience. But yeah, 2020. Also, West Indies might be going to Ireland as well. So we're waiting to see if that gets confirmed in April, early May. So we might be flying out to Ireland as well. Obviously, not far for us here in London. So keep an eye out. As always, keep following us: Instagram, X, TikTok, Discord, Patreon, if you can contribute anything, Facebook, anything else, Blue Sky as well, we're on there. So Caribbean Cricket Podcast by the fans, for the fans. Thank you for all your support across 2024, and long may it live on in 2025. So we'll see you on the other side. Next year, we'll be back straight away with Pakistan content coming fast and furious. And as Mash has hyped, we might have a content plan as well. So we might actually have a strategy. We're looking to get in some guests back on 2024. We didn't have too many. We thought, let's focus more on the analysis side of things. 2025, we might come back with some guests. So if you want to see some players come on the show, or maybe some players make a return, any analysts, pundits as well, just drop us some suggestions. We're always happy to hear it. And we will look at, growing the podcast reach in 2025. So thank you all for tuning in. Hope you have a good night and don't celebrate too hard. And we'll see you in 2025. Happy New Year, guys.
Peace, people.
West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast. West Indies Cricket, Caribbean Cricket Podcast.